Welcome to the Diamond Spotlight interview. I am Barbara Beckley, the founder of the Diamond Factor LLC, where the mission is to empower people, especially women, to understand their PPD, which I call purpose, passion, and drive. This platform is to make sure to increase their visibility, to shine like a diamond to the world. Today, we are spotlighting another wonderful guest, and I always call the ladies Queen Diamonds. So, Dr. Danielle Jones is a licensed therapist and life coach with over 20 years' experience in the mental health arena. Her platform encompasses, removing the stigma associated with mental health and empowering women to live unapologetically. Welcome, Dr. Danielle, to the Diamond Factor Spotlight interview.
Hey.
Hello, lady. Hello. I'm so glad that you're here. And so the audience and the listeners get to know you. So we're just going to jump right into it. We're just going to jump right into it with you. So you mentioned as a therapist and life coach in the mental health arena for over 20 years. So can you please explain what inspired you to be a part of this industry?
Growing up, I always liked helping people. And so at first I thought I wanted to be a medical doctor. And so that was my thing. Okay, I want to be a medical doctor. But then when I got to college, my first year, I took psychology classes, and I was like, oh, wait a minute. Okay, I can help people in a different way, still become a doctor, but just a different type of doctor, and help people in a different way. So after that first psychology class, I was sold. I was like, okay, this is what I need to do. This is where I need to be. And I've been doing the work ever since.
Wow, 20 years. I have to give you so much. I commend you for that. Commend you. And I know it's a different flavor. You know, some people want to hear mental health. I know some people might get a little bit nervous or don't really understand. So how do you really, it sounds like, since you have a big, background of it, how do you really explain to people that are kind of like in that, zone of, I really don't understand it. I'm kind of maybe even fearful of it.
And so what I tell people is every year you go to your doctor and you get a wellness check. You make sure everything is okay, your heart, your lungs, and everything like that. I advise people every year to get a mental health check. That means going to any type of outpatient facility, or if you have a local therapist, just to kind of sit down with them, go over kind of what's gone on in your life the last year, and just do a check. A lot of times we suffer with depression and don't even know it. We just say, oh, somebody's sad or they're blue, I'm a little down. So it's just getting that check in. And so mental health encompasses so much. But I think in our community, there's such a stigma attached to getting therapy, getting counseling, because the first thing you hear is, I'm not crazy. Well, it doesn't mean that you're crazy. It just means that you have some issues or past trauma that you need a licensed professional to sit down and help you pretty much dissect and delve through and just make sure that you're okay and give you tips and strategies to cope.
I love how you put that, Dr. Danielle, because like you said, we go to the doctor for other things in our body, that we check on a regular basis, but our mind and everything that we deal with, because you said there's a lot of emotional things going on, especially right now with the whole pandemic and everything. Yes. So I'm glad, that's awesome that you brought that out, and people need to, understand that we need to check everything in our lives. So yeah. So you have released the latest book released, I Say What I Say, 10 Practical Strategies to Find Your Voice on Your Own Truth. Please share what drove you to write this book concerning why it's so important and the need to be heard for yourself in life.
Well, I realized after I got my first college degree, second college degree, third college degree, got a good job, and I'm like, okay, this is it. I'm living a life. And then I realized, like, I think I was on an interview and the person said, who are you? Oh. Oh. And I tried to answer, but it kind of bothered me the whole way home. Who am I? Like, and then the person asked, what's your story? And so it was in that moment that I realized I acquired all the things that I thought I was supposed to have in life, but I didn't understand who I really was. What is my story? And so from talking to other women and just even being a therapist, I realized that most people don't understand who they are. They don't understand their journey and how that journey has shaped who they are. And then knowing that you have a voice, all of us have a voice. It's just someone telling you, you have a voice. You have a right to make choices for your life. And then ultimately, you have the right to forgive yourself for past mistakes, move forward, and then live unapologetically. So that's what drove me to write the book.
I love it. I love it. And the thing that I really love what you mentioned too is really hoping to forgive yourself for things. I think that's hard. I know even for myself, and I'm authentic in all areas. That sometimes it's hard for me to do that because I put it on me so much of, oh, heck, I did that, or oh, if that didn't happen, if I wasn't a part of it. So, like you said, Dr. Danielle, you have to learn how to forgive yourself so you can move forward.
Exactly. And
Yeah.
we all are accustomed to it. I think we're conditioned to first look at ourselves when a situation happens. What did I do? What did I do?
Mm.
But a lot of times we've just involved ourselves with toxic people. And
Mm.
so it's not what you did in the sense of the action, it's what you did in sense of the connection with that particular person. And so part of the book talks about just say no. It's okay to tell people no, and you don't have to explain why you said no. It's a complete sentence. You don't have to put anything before it. You don't have to put anything at the end of it. So that's pretty much what the book talks about, ways to empower yourself, to be yourself, and to live the life that you want to live.
I am so glad that you brought that up about the sentence of no. Because a lot of time people feel like they always have to explain themselves
Yeah.
after they say it. And then they feel like, okay, if I don't explain it, then they're gonna be like, well, she said no. She could at least told us, why, or he should, whatever. And like you're saying, Dr. Danielle, you don't have to. You can just, and that's your privilege to say no. So feel
And we have to,
comfortable.
yeah, and we have to come into that because I found myself a lot of times, and I explained in the book, I would overcommit myself because someone asked me to do things. So it's like, okay, yeah. It's only 24 hours in a day, and I've already committed 26 hours of doing things. And it's like, uh-huh. And then you're frustrated, worn out, tired, mad, but you should have just said no to some things and be okay with saying no. Can you do this tomorrow? No, I'm sorry, I can't. And it's all right.
And after, I know it gets, like you said, when you're so used to, like you just said, because you remind me, that's why I am too, where I say yes, 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 and I'm looking up, okay, Barbara, you don't have over 24 hours during the day to do this. Why did you just say yes to that? In your mind, you're thinking, why did I just do that? But like you said, just say no, and then have that smile, that wonderful smile you just had on your
Yeah,
face when
like,
you said
okay,
it.
no,
Okay,
I can't.
we work it
And
out.
so exactly. And then the other, things that I talk about is setting expectations. A lot of times we have expectations for everyone, but the people in our lives. And so if you have a cleaning lady, then the expectation is that they clean your house thoroughly. And I tell people all the time, I'm from the country, so we like to smell pine sol. It's clean if you smell it. Exactly. So you'll make detailed instructions about how you want your house clean. But when it comes to our lives, we let people treat us any kind of way, talk to us
Mm.
any kind of way, do any kind of thing. And we don't set expectations for people that are in our lives. And then we're unhappy with the output, but we didn't set boundaries and we didn't set expectations at the onset.
Mm. So true, so true. Woo, good stuff, good wisdom. So now with the world, what the world we're dealing with today, where, we're calling a new norm concerning the virus and the economy and the day-to-day life dealing with the mental health aspect of it, what would you recommend to listeners on how to deal with others concerning mental challenges or maybe themselves?
Well, if someone is still, I will say this: if you're in a relationship with someone or you have family members that have mental health issues, give them the gift of understanding. Find out if they're bipolar, they're suffering with depression or schizophrenia. Find out what you can about it, research it, and give them the gift of understanding. If someone was diabetic, you wouldn't look at them funny for taking an insulin shot.
Hmm.
So if someone has a mental health issue, why look at them differently when they say, well, my therapist said, or I'm going to a therapist? It's the same thing. So give them the gift of understanding. If you're suffering with mental health issues, or even if you're unsure, go to a therapist, find out. These times are crazy. The quarantine and isolation, for a lot of people, it has brought on situational depression. So don't suffer in silence. That's what I can say to a lot of people. Just don't suffer in silence.
Awesome. Yeah, because I know that a lot of people, like you just mentioned, Dr. Danielle, about, with being inside, being in quarantine, don't know what's going to happen, things, people losing jobs and all that stuff. A lot of people are getting into a state of depression in a sense. So that's good
And
that, like you
anxiety.
said, yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
I'm
and
sorry.
anxiety from the, I said an anxiety from the uncertainty.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the biggest thing. Is like, okay, we don't know
Yeah.
what's going to happen. Is there going to be a cure? Yeah, and you got to make that decision which way you're going to turn in your mind. So thank you so much for those ideas for the people to be able to cope when we're dealing with this right now. So now on your website, you list, and I love what you had on your website. You list, I call it the 3 R's. You might call it too: refocus, refine, and reinvest. Are very impactful words I've seen. Can you give some background on how these 3 words resonate with you and to help impact others?
Because I think change begins with refocusing. A
Mm,
lot of times we focus on everything but ourselves. And so sometimes we have to stop and say, okay, I have to refocus, because if you don't take care of yourself, you can't take care of anyone else. So self-care is very important. And so once you refocus and say, okay, I need to take care of myself, then you have to refine the things that you've been doing. For some of us, it's bad eating habits, bad sleeping habits, associating with toxic people. So then we have to refine what we do, and then you reinvent yourself. So I tell people all the time, just like iPhones, if you have an iPhone, it's always an update to the iPhone, always an update. Why? Because Apple knows that they have to be on the cutting edge of making their product better. Well, as a person, then you should always be updating yourself. And so
mm,
Danielle 10.0 is not the same person as Danielle 10.01, because I'm constantly updating. I'm constantly finding glitches in the matrix and finding things that I need to refine and refocus so I can reinvent who I am as a person.
I love it. I love it. That's when I seen on your website. I said, I have to ask her that because those were three, I call it the 3 R's. Like I said, I don't know if you call it that, but I was
That's
like,
what I
I
call it.
like
Yes.
that. I like that a lot. So refocus, refine, and reinvest. Yes, so important, so important. So what would you say, because I can tell you have a lot of superpowers, but what would you say your number one superpower is and why?
I would say the ability to be a good listener.
Mm,
And the reason why is because the answers that most people need, they already have.
mm,
Everything, I feel everything that a person needs to be successful in life, to be mentally competent in life, to be healthy in life, physically, you have that within you. A lot of times it takes someone to listen and then to reaffirm, you know what, that's a great idea. But a lot of times people just need someone to listen. It's not that you have to say something all of the time. It's just a listening ear to say, I'm here for you if you need anything. And it's that support that allows people to open up. And then you're able to insert, pearls of wisdom whenever that opportunity allows. But I think everything starts with being a good listener.
You are so right, Dr. Daniel, so right. I think sometimes people, I know sometimes when I talk to people, and it's like they're just waiting for me to be quiet so they can say what they have to say. And it's like, okay, I want to say something. It's not about you right now. I need to get this out, and you need to listen because I need some of you back. But they're so busy, like, okay, can Barbara just be quiet so I can just say what I have to say? I'm like, no, no.
So a lot of people listen to respond and they don't listen to understand. And that's totally different.
Mm. Oh, that's good. Yeah. So true. So true. So true. They like listen to their own. Some people like listen to their own voice.
Exactly. You're saying something, they already have a full
Yeah.
response. And then, and it's happened to all of us. We're talking to people, and before you can get the last word out, they fix your life. I mean, they fix your friends' lives. They repave your driveway. and almost about to do your roof, and you like, hold on, I was just trying to pick out curtains. You know what I'm saying? It's like how did that? I got a whole house remodel, and all I wanted was curtains. If they missed all of that, all they heard you say is, "Well, I'm thinking about making some changes at the house." Boom, and they took off and they ran away. And it's like, I don't want a new house. They have found your realtor, girl. And it's like, no, I just wanted curtains and pillows. So, and it's like, okay, so obviously
Yeah.
they were not listening at anything I said. And that's how relationships break down. Because a
Mm.
lot of times people feel like, well, and I've talked to hundreds of people. And when I always ask, well, what's the biggest thing that you think causes relationships to fail? Well, either people are not supportive, or not there for me, or not listening to me.
Yeah. And it's that breakdown of listening. Yeah. Because, like you said, a lot of times they're running talking about something totally, and you're like, all I wanted is like maybe a piece of pie. I'm just using that as an example. And now you sat there and cooked the cake and got the steak and got all this stuff. And I was like, all I wanted was a little piece of pie. That's it.
Just one piece. And then I
Just one.
enrolled you in a cooking class.
Yeah.
I'm like, I didn't say I don't know how to bake the pie. I just want a piece of pie. And then you're looking and confused, and and they've run away with the whole conversation. And it's like, okay, that was the most unproductive thing ever. And it doesn't benefit either one of the people. The
No.
receiver, I didn't benefit from it because that's not what I wanted. And then of course the other person, they didn't benefit because you're definitely not going to do what they say. And then it just seems like, okay, that's 30 minutes of my life that I can't get back.
Yeah. And time, as we all know, we just mentioned, is of the essence. So
It
make
is.
sure you're doing your energy of time. Keep telling people, put your energy where you really need to put it. So definitely, Doctor, thank you so
Exactly.
much. I love the scenarios that you gave. So,
Well, we all have it. We all have those same scenarios.
and the same people in our lives that do
Yes,
it. So we're not alone. There's a connection there. There's a
exactly.
connection. So, what last words would you like to leave with the listeners? And please tell them how they can contact you.
Okay, so you can contact me on Instagram and Facebook at Dr. D Monique, and my website, drdmonique.com. You can purchase the book from Amazon, or you can purchase from my website. But the final words is I want to leave with the listeners is everyone has a voice. And sometimes that voice is quiet. Sometimes that voice is really loud, but we all have a voice. And so the book focuses on practical strategies for you to find your voice, own your truth, and ultimately live unapologetically. And so that's my wish for everyone, that you live the life that you were meant to have.
Mm, so much golden nuggets. Thank you, Dr. Danielle Jones. I am just so
Thank you for
appreciative of you
having me.
being on this wonderful interview. I'm just meeting so many Queen Diamonds. I love it, love it, love it. So I just want to wish you and continuous success in your life and in your business.
Thank
So, to
you.
those that are listening, thank you for joining us. Another special edition of the Diamond Factor Spotlight interview. You can join the Facebook community under Diamond Factor LLC Development Within You. And if you wish to be spotlighted like this queen here today, please contact me by messenger under the Facebook page, or you can call me at 262-344-1000. And remember that you have a diamond in you. It's your purpose, it's your passion, it's your drive. Please understand that you're important. You were not put on this earth by accident, but you were put on this earth for a purpose. So we will see you at the next interview. And again, lovely lady, Dr. Danielle Jones, thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye.